There is a continuous give and take happening with the entire universe around us. So never let anything get to your head so that you become harder as a person. Always be
Yeah.
soft. One of the biggest misconceptions that men have, especially the ones who are working on themselves, is that they have to become hard as a man. That is stupid. Then you're not learning from one of the greatest men ever who lived, which was Bruce Lee, who said that live like water, my friend. You are not what your identity is. It
Yeah.
is better that you identify your heart before you build an identity, because if you're
Yeah.
not aware of the patterns, then basically you're stuck in a cage.
Yeah.
If you're aware of the patterns, then you can learn how to switch them on and off at the right time. The best way to solve the problems is now what happens is that for somebody like you, along with somebody like me, is that if there is an ego, right, there comes a time when we are taught how to learn to bow down our head. And I see that happening with you,
Yeah.
because what has happened with you is that you were given an not a victory, but an illusion of a victory.
Yeah.
Okay, because earlier you would have never thought of yourself to be somebody who's going to the states to do masters, which I don't know, first of all, who put this idea on your head that that's a victory. That's another thing to question.
Yeah.
All
I
right,
mean, that is a victory in terms of your own personal self. You sort of, I
that's a
mean,
victory purely based on societal standards, nothing else.
yeah.
It's just conditioning, nothing else. But the thing is, because you never considered yourself worthy enough that you will be in a different place and then doing things on your own and
Yeah.
working on your
Yeah.
own and studying on your own, etc. So you got a taste of all of that, and it actually built the ego further instead
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
dissolving it.
Like you said that, I mean, I've heard this phrase like that self-improvement trap. That exactly like
Yeah, yeah, that is
quintessential
also there.
example of self-improvement trap.
That is also there. But like what I'm thinking in your particular case is that that illusion of victory came, and then you also got to be able to pay for yourself because you got some work. Then you were starting
Yeah.
to lose the work, as well as are unsure about a lot of other things. So basically, you were given the illusion that now you're a grown up person, but now you're suddenly
Mm.
starting to act like a child again. And that is
Yeah.
messing you up a little bit because
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
don't want to see yourself in that position.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, now understand one thing, that this is a interdependent universe. So even if there's a king for whom people work and he is the one who is having his head high because like he's running the entire kingdom, if there was nobody to run, he wouldn't be a king. All right. So even if he is a king and not a child, the truth is he still is in the position of a child, because all of us are in that same position. There is a continuous give and take happening with the entire universe around us. All right. Everything else is purely mental perception. All the questions which you have asked is because of the mental perception which unfortunately most of society has. So when you have, for example, when you have started to go through the process of your ego being broken down, it
Mm.
might be better to not try to solve that problem, that okay, now I'm not working for myself and I'm having to ask money from parents, so let me find another job. I wouldn't say that is the way to solve these problems, because the best way to solve the problems is first of all understand what has it come to teach you. If it has come to teach you to get rid of your ego, then get rid of your ego.
Yeah.
Right now, you're asking, but with some shame.
Yeah.
All right. Ask proudly, because even if you do get a job and you're very wealthy as a person, one day you might need to ask for a friend. So, will you have shame at that time? Because, oh my God, you're in an IT company in the US. Wow, just like every other South Indian person of our country. It's
Yeah.
nothing great.
Yeah.
Any achievement or victory that society considers, wow, that's a big thing. It's not a big thing because millions have done it before you, whether it's UPSC, whether it's IIT, whether it's whatever the hell you want to be. It is just what the society holds perceived value to. It's not even real value, to be honest. So never let anything get to your head so that you become harder as a person. Always be
Yeah.
soft. If you will not be soft as a person, you will not be able to change based on what change is needed right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So, one of the biggest misconceptions that men have, especially the ones who are working on themselves, is that they have to become hard as a man. That is stupid. Then you're not learning from one of the greatest men ever who lived, which was Bruce Lee, who said that live like water, my friend. All right. Because you are not what your identity is. It is better that you identify your heart before you build an identity, because otherwise your identity is going to shut off the doors of you
Yeah.
experiencing a lot in the world, as well as a lot of what the world has to give to you. You will never be able to receive it.
Yeah.
All right. So the first thing in your particular individual case would be, I would say, especially based on the timing with which you have explained every event to me, it is very highly significating a particular process which is happening right now for a lot of people, and that is that you have to kill your ego, because you are nothing at the end of the day, all of us.
Yeah.
So if you're having to ask for help from your parents, be grateful that wow, I have people that I can ask help from.
Yeah, of course. That is always the case. I mean, I'm very conscious about all these things, but again, like you said,
I'm
you sort
coming.
of
I'm
you
coming
see
to the.
that.
I'm coming to
Yeah,
the next part. I
yeah,
understand where
yeah.
you're
You have this
supposed.
acceptance, but then like society, like social media, and all those
It's
things
not even
makes you
society.
think.
The next part of the up is what we create for ourselves.
Yeah,
So the next part of the up is when people like us start thinking that we are doing well, or that we are able to manage ourselves. And then if a
yeah,
situation comes where we are not able to manage ourselves, there is
yeah,
a certain element of pride which actually ends up crippling us.
yeah.
All right. So it is not society. When you go one step deeper, it is us putting pressure on ourselves.
That is
Okay.
also that is also a thing where I feel that because you worked on yourself, you did a self-improvement thing, you woke up early, you were very obedient with your work, you are very professional. I should be successful. That attitude also is very wrong. It's like you can do everything right, but still fail. And that's what like
Yeah,
Krishna says
but
in
that's the
Gita,
thing,
like
right? The
uh,
definition of things like the definition of words like fail. What does failure mean? It's different for everyone.
yeah,
All right. So what I'm saying, I know you're again putting it on the process of self improvement and stuff like this. I'm telling you to go beyond this, because everything you learn from the outside is outside and you can actually formulate it in language. But there are many things about ourselves which we formulate, and it is in a non-language language. Okay.
yeah,
It is just patterns
yeah,
over time. All right. So over time, those patterns get ingrained in us and we like to see ourselves a particular way.
yeah. And that pattern might not be just because of our lifestyle. We would sort of adapt those patterns from other people also. Like, oh, he is doing this, he is
Yeah,
doing that.
wherever,
So,
whatever.
yeah,
Main thing is you have to become aware of them.
yeah,
Because if you're
yeah,
not aware of the patterns, then basically you're stuck in a cage.
yeah,
If you're aware of the patterns, then you can learn how to switch them on and off at the right time.